Hey everybody, welcome to the May of 2022 Patron Q&A, which is being filmed before the end of May. Go us, for once. This probably also is going to be released to YouTube after I hit 100k subs, but I haven't done that yet, and I've not recorded any... Well, I talked about the 100k video, what my plan is, and I'm not recording that until it's happened, because I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. So yeah, just be aware that video is probably coming.
And you are so close, so if you are not subscribed, subscribe!
And if I am over 100k, don't worry about subscribing, I don't care anymore. Right, I'm going to do the first one from Gary Mussett. Hi to you both, and I hope you're both well, thank you. And Spicy's health problems are improving. Indeed, they are improving. However, I've still got that ultrasound in June. You know, this is how long everything takes before I know much more. But yeah, I'm feeling better in ways, so the anemia obviously was absolutely kicking my butt. Due to the recent reduction in patrons, does this mean we can expect you see? Yeah, unfortunately, obviously because of the increased cost of living and stuff like that, I have lost patrons. I used to have 380 at one point, and I now have 340. So if there's anyone out there who can help support this channel by as little as $1 a month, we need you. But can we expect an OnlyFans? No, no, I'm not doing an OnlyFans. There's as many jokes about that you have from Discord, you have no idea. It was going to be called Sticky 110.
Spunky 110.
I'll do Cameo before I do an OnlyFans. Spice 110 Productions presents Divvy Does Derek 4-stroke to exhaustion. Stay safe, guys, and if you're not already, hope Reno is back on the CVR safely on the road soon. Yes, you need to start practicing.
Yes.
Bike's done. Right, so next one is for you.
Lone Wally UK says, is there a bike that you've ridden and 20 minutes later been, I want to give it back? For me, it was the Royal Enfield Continental 650, clip-on handlebars on a cafe racer, rip my back.
A bike that's been for 20 minutes and I want to just give it back. Yeah, oh, I'm going to really hurt some people when I say this. It was the rental, as in completely abused, could only do 55 mile an hour. YBR? Yeah, it was what? I think it was a YBR. Was it CG?
Did I know you at this point?
No, it was I think it was the YBR 125. It was just awful.
Yeah, I feel like that because I think we've had a conversation with them before. I didn't like the YBR because I tested that before.
But other than that, no, generally, even if a bike's awful, I can stomach it for an hour. And I don't normally find any great dislike of any particular bike. I just... It's more not for me. Hippodrones. Hey, Renault Espace. If there was a zombie apocalypse on your island and they blew up the bridge to protect the mainland, how big a ramp would you need to jump the gap to escape? I wouldn't be escaping. I'd be on the island and I'd be the one blowing the bridge up.
Yes.
If it was the other way around and the bridge was blown to protect you all from the hordes of holidaymakers, how long would it last before Tesco's ran out of your favourite snacks?
Oh my God.
Well, funny you should say that. Immediately, because they've just suddenly stopped selling things like gammon. We used to buy gammon from there. Nope, just don't sell that anymore. The nice naan breads to have a curry. Nope, can't get those anymore. Oh, you want the large can of Red Bull that goes with the meal deal? Yeah, you don't get those.
Red Bull, by the way.
Yeah, sugar, no worries. You want sugar-free? No, screw you. You have to go and use loads of fuel and ride off the island. Oh, this is a very sore point right now. I had to go to the local store to see what they didn't have. Ride off the island to get the stuff they didn't have, then come back to that store to collect the last of the bits so I didn't have to carry that round the next store to come back home. Tesco's, you're letting us down.
Lee Bayliss.
Wait a minute, we didn't even answer the question.
Oh, no, we didn't.
As I say, I would be on the island, so I wouldn't be trying to escape. I'd be just trying to keep people back. But we've considered this in the past, as we've seen in films, zombies can go underwater, so they're just going to walk onto the island anyway. So it's, if anything, you're just trapping yourself worse. No. What you kind of need is... yeah, but then
Steal one of the boats.
Then they clamber on.
Go into the deep sea, because then it's going to take them a long time to get to you, and maybe they'll drown before. Can they drown?
Well, probably not, because they're rotting and inflated, so they're going to like float their way across.
Then you get loads of oil, and you put it on the water, and then you light a fire around it, and then you're safe in.
What stops that oil coming in and burning you?
You need a non-fire... you need something that won't catch fire to go around as a barrier.
What, like sheep? Because they don't burn.
What?
Wool doesn't burn, so you could have like a ring of sheep.
No! Not the sheepies. Lee Bayliss says, "Hey Spice 110 Reno. Hope you're both well. How's your little fish? Oh, and other marine life you may have getting on."
Is there much to show since the last update? Not really. They're all doing well. There are more baby guppies, but I feel like
there's so many.
There isn't much to show you now, but next month, when all those babies have grown up, we have a few different males and things because we've got some different guppies. We can show you.
Yes, they're very pretty.
Pandy Copyright. Hey, Spice Reno. If an ambulance runs someone over and it's on its way to save someone else, should it stop to help them? I believe by law, they have to pull over and
check if you're okay.
Yeah, but can they be involved? Wait, you know someone's been hit by an ambulance?
My dad was hit by an ambulance when he was younger.
I just don't know if they're allowed to deal with it these days, because it's like, you've done the damage, you can't do.
But I think if the ambulance is on its way to save someone, it's probably going pretty fast.
Yeah, but
if you get hit by it then, you'd probably...
Well, it depends, but the thing is, you can't leave the person in the street unattended, so they're going to have to send another one.
What they do is they, like, open the door, grab you,
mate,
shove
chuck
you
them
in.
Mate, you're going to have to get
Come
in
with
and
us.
deal with them on the way.
Josh Feehan says, "Hi Spicy and Reno. I like eating Eggo waffles with nothing on them. Does that make me a bad person?"
Eggo waffles? What are
I'm
Eggo
trying
waffles?
to remember.
Eggo waffles?
Eggo waffles.
They're a Kellogg's cereal.
But they're also a waffle.
But they're also a waffle. With nothing on them.
I don't think it's
If
weird.
you mean like waffles in the sense of like the sugared dessert waffles to eat them on their own, no, it's fine. We used to do it in the pub when we used to sell like waffles with ice cream. One of them or two would always get broken, and then people would just start nicking bits off it and eating it.
Oh, I love this.
So no, it's fine. Paul Piggott, hey Spicy in Reno, hope things are going well and your health is getting better, Spicy. Thank you. On the way, I hope. Did you have fear about getting a bike again after your crash? Much love. No, not in the slightest. And I have 2 videos talking about that. One's called, like, I can't remember what they're called now, actually. It's like riding after a crash. Thankfully for me, I never experienced any of that. The second I crashed, all I wanted to do was go back on the bike. And the first thing I did on every time I've crashed is the first ride was to go back past that, because I feel like my life stopped when I crashed. And it's not until you go past that, like a save point, that you can continue. So, no, absolutely not. But I totally get why some people can be like that. And as I have videos talking about that, and I've given advice on that one before a few times. But no.
Especially if it's a bad crash as well. Some people might get put off from that too.
But then you've had multiple crashes and she doesn't care either, so it's not like...
Mine haven't been particularly that bad though. The worst one I had was when I fractured my ankle, and straight after that I still wanted to get back on.
Yeah, but you know, we've all seen people like fall over and dust and go, that's it, selling the bike, can't do it.
I know someone who's done that.
Exactly.
Before. Emma Moore says, ever considered or done a patron members ride out / meetup?
Right, we talked about that a couple of months ago. Obviously, I've done meetups in the past, but COVID, well, planning and location changed it, then COVID ended it. Yes, I would like to do a patron, well, I want to do a meetup. I considered doing a patron-only one, but if I do a patron-only one, then I'm going to take an awful lot of grief from people who are like, well, what, I don't come to get to meet you because I don't pay for your patron. And on one hand, you can go, well, it's $1 a month. And on the other hand, you can go, fair enough. And I don't know what to do about that. However, the logistics of doing a huge public ride, or so we say meet, is very difficult. A patron one's much easier because the numbers will be much lower. And as for ride-outs, no, I do not do group ride-outs.
No.
If I do a meet-up, I am not out riding with people. Trust me, I've been in group rides with people in these situations before. We've done it in previous years. Not happening. People cannot be trusted to not be knobs. It's very frustrating when someone comes to one of your meets and you say, don't do any wheelies. And then they go, well, that's what I came for. And I'm like, I told you when you came, before you came here, don't come here and do that. But yes, I have considered doing a patron meet maybe later on in the summer. I'll give some notice to patrons if we do that. I mean, honestly, is it to my patrons, how many of you would come down to a meet-up, say, on the island or within 10 miles of Halen? like somewhere around here, how many would you come down if it was, say, you had a few weeks warning and it was in, like, say, August, September time? What would you think to that? I think that's a starting point. Alex Fitzpatrick, hi Spicino. Now that the CBR is back up and running, any plans to do any joint vlogs type videos where you're both on your own bikes loving the content? I think, well, one, Rena's got to get back to riding.
Yeah.
Two, camera technology has moved on so far now, I'm not sure if your drift's going to be able to actually keep up with today's world.
I was thinking about this the other day. Well, I've been thinking about it for a while anyway. But yeah, my camera now compared to your camera, so much has changed in, like, what has it been, like a couple of years? It's crazy.
But then that's partly because I've been pushing my content quality hard as I can, and Rena obviously is the thing. So it means there's nothing wrong with the drift footage. The problem is when you switch from one to the other, it's not so pleasant to watch. So,
like, for me and my own videos, it's fine. For you and your own videos, it's fine. But when you try and put them together, it's
maybe, but maybe not at the moment. We'll see, sort of thing.
Mark McCullough.
If that's right, can't remember. We had this last time. Hello again.
Hello, Ricino. Hello, the one. Hope you two awesome people are keeping well. Thank you.
Would you like to now read the question?
Oh, I thought it was a second question. Sorry. I was wondering if you already own a bigger bike than a 125 and wanted to transport it to the Mod 1 and Mod 2 for your test. How on earth do I get it insured to enable me to do both tests? Because every time I speak to an insurer, they say they can only insure it if I'm with an instructor, and they say that the test person doesn't count as an instructor. What? I really cannot afford the DAS course, as is 800 quid, but I do have private property that I can practice with on my own big bike. Sorry, that was a bit long-winded. Thank you guys, you rock.
Okay. So what you're basically saying is that you own a bike which would qualify as a bike to take the test on. How can you do that on a privately owned bike? The answer is you have to get a van or a friend who's insured to ride the bike to ride it to the station. And yes, you can get insurance for a day to do your licence. I'm not sure what these people are talking about. People do have and do it. So it is possible to do. I understand that the DAS can be very expensive, but there are major benefits to that because you don't do it. You get proper training. Riding the bike physically is about 1%. Like for admittedly for the Mod 1, fine, but in Mod 2, you really have to just hit everything on the head, and it's about passing the test, not riding the bike so much. So there are people who've done it, and you know, if you've got the private property to do the spaces and really practice, great, and good luck to you. But if you fail once because of that, are you now in a position that you can't afford to do it again? Or is it worth waiting to save to get the next bit? Is it impatience that's causing you to not just do it? I mean, but 800 quid's a lot of money.
Yeah,
I get it.
is.
But then again, if you practice, as you said you are going to, and then go to school and they give you an assessment, they may just give you a morning assessment and go, yeah, that's great, and then book you in for the... I don't know, everyone who wants to shortcut getting a motorcycle licence because they don't have enough money, what worries me is that you won't have enough money to keep this going because you've got to pay for insurance and the equipment and all that sort of stuff. And if you can't afford to just do it in the normal way, you might come up against some issues.
I would personally wait and do the DAS.
If you can, but...
Because you learn so much on that as well.
Yeah, it depends on you, how much, if you drive already and things like that. I don't know how long you've been riding for, if you've been riding for, but yeah, I hope that helps, even though I haven't really given you an answer. But it is possible to get the insurance. It might be rather expensive, I'm not sure.
So did you do the DAS when you did your licence then?
Yeah.
Because you've been riding for years anyway.
Yeah, I bought the DR.
Yeah.
And then I got my booking, after I did the theory, I got my booking for my first lesson. It was within 2 weeks, I did my first lesson up to having the licence in 2 weeks, over 2 weeks. It was like 3 or 4 days. 3 days? 3 days, I think. But by that point, they did a 5-minute assessment, literally just said, right, try riding the bike up and down. Oh, okay, you seem quite confident. Do a slalom, do a figure of 8, eventually stop. Right, we're just going out on the road, it's fine. Literally 5 minutes, yeah, you'll find that we're going out. So I saved some money by doing it in less time by having the ability to ride the bike so confidently that he didn't have any worries about that. But I still had a lot of problems I messed up on. So, you know, it's tricky. Again, it is really very much passing a test and not being riding the bike. Long-winded answer, probably longer than your question. But a lot of people ask that, so it's a fair thing to get into. Right, so.
Mephisto says, hello, Sabarino. I don't really have a question, so Coke or Fanta or 7-Up, with or without vodka/whiskey?
Right, Coke and whiskey, yes. Coke and Fanta or 7-Up, no. I've seen people do whiskey in like Sprite and it's just like, what is wrong with you? No offence if you're one of those people. Weirdo. Vodka with Coke works. Vodka with Fanta, I don't want to drink that. That's artificial with alcohol would be very weird.
I know
but
you can
in
have
theory
vodka
it works.
orange.
And with 7-Up again, like, no. But if you were going to drink them as a soft drink, 7-Up all the way. Or Diet Coke, not full fat Coke.
Yeah, Diet
Fanta's
Coke.
kind of, I like Fanta, but it's got this real artificial flavour to it.
Yeah, I've noticed that
Like,
as well.
you taste the bottle as much
and
as...
it's almost like it's gritty. Well, last time I drank Fanta, it tasted like...
Were you at the beach?
No, it was so artificial, it just wasn't right.
I'm
Diet Coke for me is the best. I can't drink a lot of 7-Up. It upsets my stomach for some reason, I don't know why.
Next one's from Ivor George. Hi, Spice Guys. Now that the dust is settled with the 3 bike renovations, are there any specific things that you would like about them now that you hadn't appreciated before? Would you do such a project again? What about a written off 125 renovation? You could always auction off at the end result. Hope you're both on the up and up with the summer here. Hope to see you have some bike rides together. Right, I have talked about this a few times. Is there anything about the bikes that I didn't appreciate before? You know, I just love them more for the reasons I love them, I think. It's quite simple. I know the bikes quite well.
Yeah.
But the DR definitely just rides so much better now that everything was fresh and new and, you know. As for like a written off 125 renovation, I have strongly considered this, but I can't, I'm just going to say it straight, I can't afford to do it. I'm on less than minimum wage doing what I do now. Yeah. I'm losing patrons every month. Not every month, they're going up and down, but the average went down a bit because of what's been going on in the world. Second-hand bikes are not that cheap. Getting the parts and doing the work is an interesting thing to do, and I would kind of like to do that. I couldn't keep it long term because I do not have the storage for that many bikes. Insurance probably wouldn't be too expensive, so I could use it for a while, so that's a possibility. Auctioning it off at the end, I've always said I don't want to make a bike, auction it, have someone crash on it, and then someone try and blame me for them having that crash. I know that sounds ridiculous, but trust me, trust me, people do some ridiculous things. So, yes, I would be very interested in doing that, but honestly, these are the sorts of things you see large channels do with a good, you know, amount of extra cash to invest into doing videos. I am on the, like, trying to pay my bills and trying to make content at the same time, and fuel's gone up, and cost of living's gone up, and my patrons have gone down, so I'm not in a position to be doing stuff like that. I'm sorry to say it so frankly, I don't like talking about money like that, but unfortunately that is the reality, and it does get a little bit like, I'm not a massive channel. Please don't have those expectations. However, it is something I would really like to do because I like doing mechanical videos, and now I've fixed all 3 bikes. Yeah. So it's something I would like to do, and I have looked around to see if something pops up.
Robo Ninja 300 says, "Hey Spicy, hey Reno, hope you are doing good. Out of curiosity, how would you find out the right OHM resistor to use if you were installing LED indicators on a motorbike but couldn't find the right relay? I think it was an issue you had for a while with Divi." Probably a silly question, but I thought best to ask. Thanks, guys.
Right, so yeah, when you put LED indicators on a bike that doesn't have them, they'll flash too fast. You have 2 options. You change the flasher relay. If you can't find the flasher relay, you just get the inline resistors, and the inline resistors are, to my understanding, universal, because all bikes work at 12 volts, and I think they need to drop it down to 5. So it's you can use any of them interchangeably. They only cost a few quid each, but they look like What they remind me of is, you know, in the Quality Street, you have the caramel finger. One of those wrapped in heat shrink. It's about that size, and you have one for each line. I hope that helps.
I want to eat them now.
London Phaser Rider. Right, next question is from London Phaser Rider. Are they ready yet?
Who? What?
I'll have to explain to you later. You're a git. I didn't know you'd done this in this as well, but at least you might actually watch this video for this. There's a lot of in-jokes there. He is a very good patron. He is also one of my admins on Discord, and we have many jokes. Many jokes. I'm going to shoot you in the face this evening on COD, to be clear. Last one is for you.
Julian L says, "Hi Spicy or Genki desu ka Reno. Do you have any advice for learning to ride off-road?" That's a good question.
Go slow. Start out easy. Gravel roads, stuff like that. Remember to not use the front brake, only use the rear brake. Then just slowly progress with it. Also accept the fact that you are going to drop the bike at some point. If you're willing to scratch it and just pick it up, then do that. But know you're going to have to be able to pick the bike up.
Yes, that's a good point as well. If it's heavy.
If you can go with someone who already does it, that's a great thing. Yeah. But generally, as I say, find it. Yeah, no, you can go alone, but don't go into the deep depths of a valley with no signal on your phone, where no one goes down there clearly for months on end, and have a bike land on top of you that you can't move, because
then it's dodgy.
But otherwise, slowly, just like the road, slowly, catch your monkey, keep off the front brake. Not the road with the front brake thing, though. That was the last question. Thank you very much to all of my patrons who helped make this channel possible. I would not have been able to get to 100k without you, because obviously this channel would have closed down about 2 and a bit years ago. It's very interesting to think, had I not started Patron and continued the Metalworks, I would have been utterly... because no one would have been buying clocks through then, and I would have had no backup. So it was one of the smartest decisions I ever made. It did annoy a few people, but seriously, I massively appreciate the people who support me. And if you wish to become one of those people, links are in the description. There's $1 a month, and you get everything, regardless of the rewards are the same whether you give $1 or 10 or whatever. But there are multiple options at the start, so people can choose. But I try to do it as fairly as I can, on the basis that it's not going to make any great difference to you over the month, but if enough people get involved, my channel can grow and do more. And as I say, to do things like people say, like builds and stuff, I'm going to need to be doing a little bit better. But I will do my best to produce the best content I can as I do. I've got an electric bike coming next week, I think. Yes, that'll be fun. Probably going to take it green, I need to. Anyway, there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Smash the like out of the fuck button. Subscribe if we're under 100k. If we're not, don't bother. It doesn't make any difference. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.